embarrassing moments with you. The first being, when I was in high school, my older brother invited me to visit him in college. And I thought, wow, this is going to be a great chance to meet college men. So my friend and I decide we're going to drive up, and we get to my brother's dorm, and he introduces me to his friends, and this is so thrilling. And after a while, I needed to go to the restroom. So, I go to the restroom, and I'm sitting in the stall, and I have nothing better to do, and I look over, and I see these big, hairy legs in the next stall. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm sitting in the men's room. So I bolt out of there, and I run into my brother's room with this look of horror on my face, and he goes, what's wrong? I said, I went in the men's room. He goes, it's a co-ed dorm. I'm like, oh. Well, fast forward, and now I'm in college, and I went to the University of Massachusetts, which is 2 hours from Boston, so we decided to share a ride driving home. And after an hour and a half, we decided to make a pit stop at Howard Johnson's to eat something and go to the bathroom. So I see this girl ahead of me with long hair. She looked like she knew where she was going, so I just followed her and right into the restroom. And the minute the door flung open, I see all these men in urinals. I'm like, oh no! So I run out of there. Clearly, the girl I was following was a long-haired man. Okay, now a new story. I had a puppy, and he was so smart. His name was Pecos. We would have conversations, could last an hour. He listened to me intently. I knew he got everything. He was my best friend. I loved him. Well, one day I'm talking on the phone with my friend, and Pecos comes in my room and goes, and he's choking. And I'm like, oh my God, my best friend is choking. So I hang up with my friend, I get him in the car, I throw him in the back seat, and I'm driving to the vet as fast as I can with Pecos in the back going, I finally get to the vet, and there's a sign on the door that says, worming only today. And I'm like, oh no. And I start banging on the door. Well, somebody in the waiting room opened the door. Pecos runs into the waiting room, upsets the whole waiting room. Now all these dogs and cats are just running all over the place, and Pecos is still going, so the doctor opens the door and he goes, what's going on in here? I said, my dog is choking. He said, I'll get to him in a minute. And he goes back in the office and shuts the door. And Pecos is still going, well, then finally Pecos did, and it was a chicken bone, and it flew across the room. And after that, he's wagging his tail, and he's just fine. So I figured, okay, let's go. So I'm ready to leave when the doctor comes out, and he goes, oh no, he's coming in. So I knew I would end up having to pay for that. Okay. So the last story is, I had gone to a party the night before outside in the grass, and I was wearing these cloth shoes, and they got all messed up. So I thought, the next day after work, I'd try to bring them to a dry cleaner to see if they could clean the shoes. So, as anybody knows me, I don't eat breakfast or lunch, and I happened to be working extra late, and I was starving. So before I drove to the dry cleaner, I thought, I'm going to treat myself to my favorite Chinese food. I get all my favorites, I put it in the trunk, I drive to the dry cleaner to show them the shoes, and they go, oh no, we can't do anything. I'm like, okay, great. So now I'm driving home, and I'm starving, and when you're starving and you're smelling your favorite food, I want to just run into the trunk and just start eating it, but I controlled myself. So I finally get home, I open the trunk, I pick up the paper bag, and by this time all the juices had somehow run out of the carton. So when I picked up the paper bag, the Chinese food went all over my silk blouse, which, let's just face it, it looked like I threw up on myself. Okay, well I was home, no one really saw me. I just gathered, I'm holding the Chinese food, I'm wearing the Chinese food. I go up to my front door when there's a sign. We are very sorry, but we drilled into your water main. There will be no water for 24 hours. I'm standing up and saying, oh. Well, I know I have a choice. I can laugh or I can cry, and I choose to laugh. So at that point, I get in the house, I change into some casual clothes, and now I have to go to the dry cleaner again to bring now the clothes that had all the Chinese food on me right there. So I'm in line at the dry cleaner, and it just so happens that this gorgeous guy is standing next to me in line. And I'm holding my clothes with the blouse that looked like I threw up with myself. And I'm like, gee, great first impression. Timing is everything for me. Well, needless to say, I guess if that's my worst day, then I really have nothing to complain about, but those are my most embarrassing moments.